In early 2021, I was a shy 17-year-old trying to make friends at my new high school in Willow Creek. I'm not the best at socializing, so joining the school's tabletop gaming club seemed like a fun way to meet people. That's where I met a girl I'll call Lily. She was a bit quirky, and we bonded over our love for fantasy books and board games. I was thrilled when she invited me to join her gaming group outside of school. It felt like I'd found a new best friend. At first, things were great. Lily was sweet, and we had a blast geeking out together during club meetings. But when we started hanging out one-on-one in March 2021, things got weird. She'd make random, serious-toned jokes that didn't land, stare too long without speaking, or ignore me out of nowhere. It was awkward, but I brushed it off, thinking she was just nervous like me. We'd only been friends for a month, so I figured we needed time to click. I graduated high school early in June 2021 for personal reasons, and started a part-time job at a local bookstore. My schedule got tight, and I couldn't hang out much. Lily didn't take it well. She'd text me constantly, asking to meet up every other day. When I explained I was busy, she'd get upset, demanding I send her my work schedule to prove it. She'd send messages like, "I miss you so much, why are you avoiding me?" Or call me her closest friend, even though we'd only hung out alone a few times. It felt overwhelming, especially since we'd only known each other for about 3 months. Things got stranger when Lily visited my apartment in August 2021. I was living with my older sister, who had a cozy place with a small balcony and a cool fish tank. Lily kept commenting on how fancy it was, which felt odd since it was just a normal apartment. Then she started saying things like, "You must think you're better than me with this place," or made snarky remarks about my sister's job as a nurse, saying she probably overcharges patients. I never brought up money or anything like that. It made me super uncomfortable. She even asked to snuggle on the couch, which felt way too forward, and made weird comments about whether I was really happy with my girlfriend. By September, I started pulling back. Lily's neediness was draining, and I needed space. But then she started texting my girlfriend, Jenna, out of the blue. I hadn't given Lily her contact info or talked much about her. Lily sent Jenna messages like, "You need my approval to date Emma," or "We're best friends, so you have to like me." Jenna was creeped out and showed me the texts. One message even said, "I love Emma, you better treat her right." I was mortified. When I confronted Lily, she flipped it on me, saying, "You must have told her bad things about me, I'm heartbroken." All I'd told Jenna was that Lily was a friend from school who was acting odd. When Lily went off to college in October 2021, I thought things would calm down. For a while they did. She made new friends, and I felt relieved. But when she came back to Willow Creek for winter break in December, the intensity returned. I was dealing with some family issues and went on a short trip with my sister. Lily messaged me nonstop, texts, Instagram, even gaming apps, asking to hang out. When I didn't reply for 2 days, her messages turned angry, saying things like, "I guess I'm not important to you." She even joked about showing up at my apartment unannounced, which scared me because she'd mentioned knowing my street from a delivery app we'd used once. Finally, I'd had enough. In January 2022, I told Lily her behavior was crossing lines. I said her constant messaging and jokes about showing up at my place were creepy and made me feel unsafe. I asked her to stop contacting me. She apologized profusely, then got mad, saying I was abandoning her. She tried to guilt me, saying she cared about me and just wanted to be close. But I was done. It was exhausting, and I couldn't keep dealing with her overbearing behavior. I feel bad for Lily. She seemed like she genuinely wanted to connect, but her actions pushed me away. I hope she finds balance and healthier friendships, but I can't have someone so intense in my life. That kind of clinginess just isn't for me. I'm a 24-year-old woman from Ireland, and when I was 8 to 10, I was close friends with a girl I'll call Mia. We met in primary school and formed a tight group with 2 other girls, Chloe and Tara. We were inseparable, living just a block apart in Dublin. I often stayed at Mia's place for weekend sleepovers since my family's tiny flat was cramped, and I was shy about it. Mia lived with her dad, who worked late, so we had the house to ourselves. Things started weirdly. At 8, Mia would play her dad's old horror movie DVDs, ones with ghosts, and ask me if they made me feel funny. I'd just stare, confused. She'd also show me strange trinkets from her dad's room, like old coins, and insist I hold them, which felt odd even then. I was a quiet kid, desperate for friends, so I went along with it. Mia loved spooky pranks, like whispering creepy rhymes in my ear at night, or saying her stuffed animals were watching me for stealing her time. It gave me chills, but I brushed it off. My mom noticed I was having bad dreams, though. At 9, I fell off my bike and broke my arm, needing regular checkups. Chloe started walking me to the nurse's office, and we got closer. Mia hated this and started acting out, claiming at 9 that she was moving to America. She'd cry and plan her new life, and Tara backed her up. We believed her for weeks until she admitted it was fake. Then she said she had a rare illness, but I knew she was lying since my cousin had been sick, and Mia got mad when I called her out. She turned mean, hiding my books and spreading rumors. My new diary and favorite sketchbook vanished during a sleepover at Chloe's. My mum was furious, and Chloe found them ruined in a park far away. At Tara's 10th birthday party at a lake, I couldn't swim due to my arm cast. Mia offered to float me out to the others on a ring, but halfway, she tipped me off, laughing as I flailed in shallow water. A lifeguard helped me out, and everyone called it a prank, but I was shaken. After that, I avoided Mia. By secondary school, ages 11 to 16, Chloe, Tara, and I were in advanced classes, but Mia wasn't, so I saw her less. One day at 12, walking home past a cafe, Mia blocked my path, yelling and shoving me. I was tiny, maybe 4 feet 8 inches, and she was taller. I pushed back, and she ran off. A month later, on my 13th birthday, Tara warned me Mia had shown her a pocket knife in class, saying it was for me. I laughed, thinking it was a joke, but Tara told the teachers. The Gardaí were called, and Mia was expelled. I never saw the knife, but it scared me. At 19, while at uni, Mia messaged me out of nowhere, inviting me to a concert. I hadn't spoken to her in years and ignored it. Later, I heard she and Chloe were friends again, which stung since Chloe knew everything. At 20, on a walk with my girlfriend, I saw Mia at a tram stop. She stared, smirked, and snapped a photo of me before I turned away. I don't know why she acted this way, but her life seems tough now, and I feel a bit sorry for her. Still, I hope our paths never cross again. When I was 8 years old in 2018, my parents split up. My mom, now raising me and my sister alone, decided to move us from our old home in Ohio to a quiet coastal town in Oregon called Seacrest, where she got a better paying job as a nurse. It was a big change, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. On our 10-hour drive to Seacrest, we stopped in a quirky little town called Willow Creek, full of colorful murals, tiny bookstores, and crystal shops. My mom said we were meeting her old high school friend, Marissa, who she hadn't seen in over 15 years but recently reconnected with online. We pulled up to a cozy Mexican restaurant to have lunch with her. Marissa walked in, and she stood out immediately. She was super tall, maybe 6'2", with long, wavy black hair tied with a bright red scarf. She wore big hoop earrings and had deep green eyes that seemed to sparkle. She was dressed in a flowy, tie-dye dress, like she belonged in a music festival. She hugged my mom tightly, then shook my older sister Lily's hand. When she got to me, I stuck out my hand, but she just froze, staring at me with wide eyes and a blank look. It made me squirm a bit. Then, suddenly, her face lit up with a huge smile, and she bent down to give me a big hug, squeezing me a little too long. After lunch, as we got ready to leave, my mom told us in the car that Marissa was going to stay with us for a bit to help us settle into our new place. She followed us in her old van for the rest of the drive. We arrived in Seacrest around 9 p.m. The new house was small but cozy, with a bunk bed already set up for me and Lily. I picked the bottom bunk, and we crashed pretty fast after the long day. Our furniture was coming the next day with a moving truck. I woke up around 2 a.m. because the backyard porch light flicked on. I peeked through the window blinds and saw Marissa sitting outside on a chair, sipping tea and staring at the stars. Her hair looked wild in the dim light. I didn't think much of it and went back to sleep. But then I heard the floor creak and the light from the window dimmed. I glanced back and saw Marissa's shadow standing right outside, facing my window. My heart raced, but I stayed still, pretending to be asleep. After a few minutes, the shadow moved, the porch light went off, and I heard the back door close. Just as I started to relax, our bedroom door creaked open. I peeked and saw Marissa in a long, white nightgown. She tiptoed over to my bunk, and I shut my eyes tight. I felt her fingers gently brush my hair. Then she started rubbing my shoulders with some kind of minty-smelling oil. She whispered something about helping me feel safe in the new house. It was weird, but it didn't hurt, so I just stayed quiet and eventually fell asleep. The next morning, Mom was already at work. Marissa had breakfast ready, pancakes with extra syrup for me, but plain ones for Lily. She was super chatty, laughing a lot, trying to make us feel at home. Lily finished fast and went to set up her tablet for games, but I ate slowly. Marissa just sat there, watching me chew every bite. When I was done, I said thanks and started to take my plate to the sink. She grabbed my hand gently and said, "I rubbed your shoulders last night to help you sleep better. New places can be scary for kids." I mumbled that I was fine and didn't get scared, but she just smiled and patted my head. For the next few nights, she kept coming into our room to rub my shoulders with that minty oil. I finally told her I was okay and didn't need it anymore. She looked disappointed but nodded. I started third grade a week later, which meant bedtime was 7:30 p.m. Mom and Marissa would stay up late, chatting over coffee. I'd wait until the house was quiet, around 10 p.m., to sneak to the bathroom so Mom wouldn't catch me up late. But every time I opened my door, Marissa would pop out of her room and say she needed the bathroom too. It happened so often that I started using the guest bathroom downstairs to avoid her. One night, around 11:30 p.m., I was half asleep and not as quiet as usual. As I opened my door, Marissa's door flew open, and she rushed out in just a towel, walking fast toward the bathroom. I ducked behind a big fern plant in the hall, curling up small. She stayed in the bathroom for like 45 minutes with the light off and the door slightly open. I could hear her humming softly. I stayed hidden until she finally went back to her room. After that, every little noise I made at night, creaking the floor, opening my door, would make her rush out in that towel. It freaked me out. About a month later, Lily and I were playing outside with kites. I tripped and scraped my knee pretty bad. Marissa saw it and ran over. I thought she'd check on me, but instead, she yelled at Lily, grabbed her arm hard, and shook her, saying she should have been more careful. Lily ran inside, upset. Marissa hugged me tightly, whispering, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" over and over, her hands shaking. When Mom got home, Lily told her what happened. Mom was furious and told Marissa she had to leave. On her last day, Marissa pulled me aside in the backyard. She knelt down, tears in her eyes, and said, "You're so special, like my brother who passed away. I hope we meet again someday." Then she hugged me and left. Later, Mom told me Marissa's brother died in a car accident a year ago, and she'd been struggling. She said Marissa kept saying I reminded her of him. Mom hasn't talked to her since, and I never told Mom about the shoulder rubs because it felt like it would just make things worse. During a rough time when my parents were separating, things were pretty chaotic at home. My mom had to move out of our school district quickly, into a small apartment, while my dad stayed in our house nearby. Because of this, my younger brother and I had a tricky routine. Mom would drive us to school in the morning before work. and after school, we'd catch a bus to Dad's place to wait until Mom finished her job. Our neighborhood was full of kids, and we all hung out a lot. We rode the bus together, played after school, and sometimes tried building little forts in the woods near the end of our street. A place we called the Hollow because of the hollow tree trunks and small trails inside. One day, a new family moved in, and with them came a boy named Sam. Sam had messy blonde hair and was thin. We met him on the bus, and since he was new, we were all curious. At first, Sam seemed like any other kid. He fit in easily with the group, me, my cousin Max, and some others like Josh and Emily. Later, we found out Sam had been expelled from a different school for throwing a chair at a teacher, but had recently been allowed back. We didn't think much of it then, but looking back, it was a warning sign. Max, Sam, and I quickly became close friends, closer than the others. So when things started to get strange with Sam, I was caught off guard. One day, Max and I got on the bus, but Sam wasn't there. We heard from Josh and Emily that Sam had invited some of the kids to his house after school. The hangout ended badly. Sam chased Josh home holding a big stick and laughed while doing it. Josh's mom heard the commotion and came outside. Sam even chased them both inside. The police got involved, and Sam missed school for a few days, but when he came back, it was like nothing happened. Most kids stopped hanging out with Sam, especially Josh. But I felt confused, like maybe it was just a prank gone wrong. I was wrong. One day on the bus, Sam suddenly pulled out a pen and jabbed me lightly in the neck. It barely broke the skin, but it scared me. He laughed it off like a joke, but I decided to change seats after that. I told the bus driver what happened, and Sam got suspended from the bus for a few days. When he returned, they made him sit in the front, away from us. He glared at me every day and called me names. I was scared. After about a week, the neighborhood kids decided not to hang out with Sam at all. Then, out of nowhere, Sam messaged me apologizing and asked if Max and I wanted to hang out with him again. For some reason, we agreed, thinking the other kids would be there too. We went to Sam's house, and as soon as he opened the door, I saw him holding a kitchen knife. He was cutting his arm and smiling like it was a joke, but it wasn't. He told us to follow him to the hollow to build forts. When we got there, no one else showed up. I felt nervous, and Sam seemed to notice. He asked me to find sticks and logs near the pond. As I walked over, I suddenly had a gut feeling to turn back, and I'm so thankful I did. I saw Sam creeping up on Max with a large rock and a tool in his hand, ready to strike. I shouted to warn Max, and Sam dropped the tool, looking confused. I made up an excuse about my mom needing me and grabbed Max. We ran through the woods, with Sam chasing us. It felt like forever running uphill, but finally, we escaped out of the hollow. The next day, we told the other kids what happened. After that, Sam disappeared from the bus and school. His family moved away soon after, and my dad left the neighborhood. A year later, Mom found a new place in our school district. Years later, I tried to find out what happened to Sam, but there was no trace, no social media, nothing. It was like he never existed. I don't live there anymore, and honestly, I'm just glad I never saw him again.